Probably
Jack's
like
okay.
Burvy and Coma, all the EU boys and the IS7s.
Double IS7 from across the pond. Ox in the Cron,
Ox on
Floppy
the
in a
Cron, like I
277.
said. So
Captain
Jack is the
Jack
other
in red
bat,
bat.
yeah, and then Floppy in the 277. Then we have
Tomatitos bringing the T100.
And then we have, if you could see here, like bringing the T100 is kind of interesting, to say the least.
It needs to put in work for it to be worth, because if it comes down to a flex play, right? It's like if it's a bat and a T100 versus a double bat, it's like you know who wins that fight.
Yeah,
So
and the
you
problem,
almost kind of can't
the
do that.
biggest thing too, is if the T100 gets picked like early, it's like GG, you know. Because a lot of the time you're when you bringing your lineup like that, it's like heavily reliant on like the bad chat, right?
Actually, send the VZ out wide, and it looks like it's going to be some immediate aggression. I wonder if they're going to commit both the I7 and the Kron. I imagine it would just be the I7, but the Kron does look like it's going to be going in as well. So they're going to send the 277 out to E1, take it pretty much for free, it looks like. Floppy takes one shot of damage, and Ox and Very are in for free. Floppy is stuck at that house. He will
I guess
try to move up later.
I mean, it's pretty smart, right? I mean, T100 obviously is counting 2 caps, so we just played the 1 cap.
And you can see it's going to be a predetermined flex of a Batchet, IS7, and a T100. So the IS7 is going to be flexing to the force. Meanwhile, the IS7 that was in the force for Jack's AFK is flexing through town. No damage being done to Tomatitos quite yet. Again, just
Jack
that
really,
one damage on the Floppy.
I've noticed Jack is really good at putting like cap pressure and then kind of like receiving pushes and then like counter pushing.
Coma's at the church in his IS7. Shots going out onto Jack in the force. He's down to 200 HP.
My goodness.
He's gonna die here in a second if Sebastian can find the kill.
The T100 might actually just run it down and try to get that. I mean, to be honest, it would be worth it.
Oh,
I don't know what that shot was, Sebastian. Wait, Sebastian's in a T100? Oh, that's what you were talking about before.
And he's looking for the resets because they put the second on the second that started happening to Captain Jack, and he does get the reset.
Wow,
and I believe he got it
such a
onto the
clean
I7.
shot. Ooh, he lit Captain Jack.
And he lands the shot!
And he connects!
The T100 is single-handedly carrying them. This Hector's getting focused down, though. He had to YOLO in towards the resets, and that may have been a misplay because now he's just a pick in isolation that Jack is AFK are going to counter with. Maybe giving them the lifeblood to try to get back in this, especially if they get an STB. Fluky, run!
Oh, wow, GG. I mean, if Fluky doesn't get safe here, it's...
And Brett is down to Sheep. Tomatito's still heavily in an advantageous position. They just needed to not throw away guns trying to protect their friends.
Yeah, Vervy is taking a whole bat chat clip. The VZ is probably going to try to clip Vervy here. The STB is starting to get some more damage here now as well.
Floppy and Ox are going to
Floppy and Ox are looking to pick Sheep.
And Sheep just has to live as long as possible. He's actually focusing Ox and ignoring Floppy.
Yeah, the STB, I think, is focused. I mean, Serve coming in, I feel like it's Toma's win.
Look, and Ox goes down. Fluky and Sebastian double tap him. 6,600 to 2,705 on 3 Tomatitos. I don't know what happened to Captain Jack out in the forest, but it was not good.
No, we missed that, but it just looked like he got lit and everybody on the, like, 3-line, they either were blind firing or they have render. It might be render.
They definitely had render, I think.
Yeah, because wasn't he on the 8-line hill?
Yeah,
that's definitely renderable, so it's just in draw, I should say.
Yeah, and it's just enough guns, and if it wasn't like he just poked up, got lit, and then got safe. It was like he got lit before he knew he was lit, before his light bulb had gone off, and they had time to aim. Because, yeah, you just... And that's... I don't know. That's not good. That's... When you're facing the T100 and stuff like that, I mean, if you're not going to protect the outside too hard, like, you just need to clump up a little bit closer and just not be pickable. Because everyone else on this team was shading towards town at that point. Post-game stats. Sebastian... 2 kills, almost 3k damage, 92 fantasy points.
Dude,
My
dude,
God.
the T100 did the most damage on the team. Now we know why Sebastian is in the T100. The question here now is why has he not been in it like before?
That was just whatever he did to spot that bad shot without being lit.
The T100 spotted. him, and then he got shot by 5 different tanks, is what happened.
Yeah, just impressive stuff. And then, I mean, Very got caught out. He was in an awkward spot after kind of everything had happened. I mean, Hector being where he
Hector
was,
had the worst spot.
2K.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
for,
feel like that
it,
was a miscommunication.
It looked like, so what it looked like to me
Mm-hmm.
is they were like, Sebastian was like, I have resets, but it's a T100 gun. And he'd only have 2 chances to reset, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it looked like they were just like, we have to have Hector go because we know for a fact that the super con can get resets, right?
Right. If Sebastian missed, that's exactly what happened. And he had already committed by the time Sebastian got the reset. The only thing different was Hector could have played like the high ground on the 3, but then he's open to other guns and just kind of do that eventual, like, I'm just poking up and over and just getting the reset
right
at the last possible moment. But yeah, it gets chaotic, it gets crazy, and like you said too, they'd already gotten so much damage for free on the bat chat that it's, even if I lose my gun, I'll still have like some HP. I'll get multiple shots out. I'm not focused by everything, because you can see he got out 2k damage. Granted, some of that was on the bat, but that just helps being a super conk with that much HP in that situation. But yeah, we're on to the next match on Muravanka here in just a moment. Tomatitos, wow. They've already upset what I said. I said, what did I say, 5-2 or 5-1? Jack is AFK? I'm already wrong. Right. And maybe 5-2 Tomatitos at this rate. They are, I mean, Jack's AFK can't get anything rolling.
Dude, this is literally just 1-1.
Yeah. And Tomatitos pulling out like unorthodox things, not craziness, but unorthodox things that are just kind of catching Jack's AFK a little flat-footed a couple times and then not being caught flat-footed on the time. Like when Jack's AFK is winning, they're winning hard, it seems. But on these last 2 where Tomatitos won, it was, they just kill something for free. And then Jack has to respond, and tank picks are out. Toma's going with, I mean, I think you're going to see Sebastian again, dude, in the T100, as you can see there, with the very first pick. Yeah, no momentum, really just kind of, like, this happened in the Flare match, too. No one got the momentum until that last map of Cliff.
That last map where it was just like a 2-0. Right, it was this Cliff 2-line pushes.
Maybe we're going to see something like that again, because now it's Jack's AFK's turn to even it up. If they fail, could be hard. But that was their, you know, Muro attack. And I think of all of them, Muro defense has to be favored, right? Like,
right.
It has to be. Looks like they're going to send the I-7 down the K line on the red. Just to chill at that bush. Floppy will go do a 3-line scout, it appears. They'll probably send somebody out on the 1 line, likely the STB eventually, but maybe at the beginning they look for shots. And anyone making an early 4-line approach, which it does not appear
Brent
Tomatitos going to do.
Going with the hardening optics. So he wants that vision. He wants to be able to see things.
I guess on a map like Muro that makes sense too, right? Muro, proc. And Luxon just taking the side by himself. The I-7 is in the bush line on the red, but I can't think that Luxon's scout loops here are necessarily completely scientific, though, right? Like,
well, actually, scientifically speaking, Luxon knows what he's doing.
Luxon has played the flex tank really well. I was thinking
Luxon was actually one of the guys that I talked to.
Oh, really?
Chill guy.
He was playing really well the first half of the season too. Like
he basically. I was like, I have everybody here in the top 4 teams except for nobody from Tomatitos. And then I asked Hector, and Hector was like, "Oh, I'm so shy. I'm not talking to no one, man. I'm super shy." I'm like, okay, you talk a lot of crap on Discord for being a shy guy, but then Luxon came in clutch. And it looks like we're gonna see. Are we gonna see a 1-line push?
This isn't good for Jack. This is bad. They've done this delayed push in the north a lot, where they just try to clear it out, and Tomatitos are just waiting for it. They have every gun ready to go, and they actually delayed this punish to try to bait as many guns in, because Floppy and Captain Jack are not going to make it. Brett has already said, "See ya, I'm out of here. Good luck, guys." And Floppy and Captain Jack are gonna die. really, really soon, because here comes Sebastian forward too, and it's just shooting fish in a barrel. This is the difficulty with pushing north on the 2 line on defense, is that unless you know for sure how many guns are there, you kind of can't. Because in the end, it's always, if they're there, do we just lose? Yeah, you just lose. JackasAFK is down 3k HP, and they're down 2 guns.
And they're trying to counter push on the offside of the, what is that, like a, I don't even know what that is. Is that a lighthouse? Why are they really like, I don't know. Whatever
it's a
that
windmill,
thing
I
is.
think. But yeah,
Windmill?
I call it a lighthouse.
I don't know why it's a lighthouse.
It also makes really loud noises. Or did they patch that? Jesus. I had to change my sound settings because of that thing.
Yeah, that actually scared me. I don't know, what is it? That's a mill?
Oh, it's not a windmill.
Huh.
What is it? It is a lighthouse, kind of. Like, it looks.
I think it's a water tower, Kappa.
Oh, it could be. Yeah, that would make sense.
The
like
top part looks like a water tower.
Maybe a silo of some sorts, I'm not sure, but
yeah, it could be like a grain silo or something. It just doesn't look like not one that I've seen.
Yeah, not one that I've seen either. Coma, the last one alive, and gosh, I just remember having this discussion with people before. It's good sometimes to go 2-line aggression from defense, but if you don't have the intel, and they really didn't, that's what happens. It becomes
and so,
they have 7
do you think this is one of the so the fact that Toma won both Murrows, do you think that this was like a really good idea to like keep Murrow kind of on lock and make it seem like you weren't good in Murrow?
Gosh, I guess, but then they basically had it happen to them on Ghost Town, and then they did it to JackasAFK on Murrow.
Right.
And hey, Flare had it happen to them by Toma on Proc on Monday. So everyone's just like doing badly on the maps that they were good at and doing well on the maps they weren't playing. I guess. Ektor may be shy, but he did almost 3k damage, 1 kill. Fluky, same, but 3 kills. Sebastian, 2,500. I mean, 2,300 serve. It's just a lot, all up and down. Luxon getting a kill in 1,600 in his T100. Coma, top damage, last one alive, 2,500. Very not getting just 1,800, and then no one else getting anything really going, and it was just over before it began.
It was over before it began.
They needed to not push. They got antsy in their pantsies. When you get antsy in your pantsies and you just kind of do a push because you're like, well, I don't like doing nothing, and then you lose like that, then someone afterwards, when everyone's all depressed in Discord and arguing with each other, someone goes, it's Murrow defense. We're supposed to do nothing. There's nothing to do. Just let them come. They have to put on cap pressure. They have to commit something.
Right.
Otherwise, we just win.
We just win. So you think it was just like one of those things where they should have played slower or maybe cleared it a little later?
I think that they brought the tanks they had and all that. Like, they weren't in danger. They like to,
though,
and they should have
Though the next map is Tundra. And I don't know who picked it, but all I know is Toma. I'm sorry, Tomatitos, you guys have not been good on Tundra. Statistically speaking, they have gotten clapped on Tundra by like almost every other top 4 team. I think they've lost. Didn't they one time they went down the 1 line with their whole team and then got capped out? Was that them or was that FHS?
God, I can't remember anymore.
It happened to somebody. Oh no,
wasn't it Flare that did
FHS.
the cap out?
I think it was FHS. I just remember Toma. I remember Toma. The last time I think we saw him Tundra, they like got 2v. It was against Burbology on Monday, right? No, Team Flare.
It? Yeah, and Flare went 1-1 on it, right?
Did they 1-1?
Did they play Tundra? No, it was JackasAFK versus yeah, I think they played Tundra.
I remember Hector.
Maybe you're right. I think I'm not remembering it. I don't remember.
No, because I remember that it was Fluky was getting shot by Dark Ninja in a 60 TP, and Serve was behind him. There was 3 guys waiting.
Remember now? Yeah, Dark was the one getting the resets in the 60 TP.
And they could have kept 3 on, and they would have triggered a push, but they took 2 off, and then the 2 that came off lost to Dodo. You remember that? Because Dodo's also on a 60 TP.